It's 9 o'clock. Good morning, I'm Olivia Dillon. A push by the opposition to censure the Prime Minister over The Voice has failed, 90 votes to 52. Liberal leader Peter Dutton claims Anthony Albanese is not telling the truth about how wide-reaching The Voice would be. He says Mr Albanese should explain if the referendum gets up, it would be a precursor to a treaty with Indigenous Australians. But the PM has told Parliament Mr Dutton is trying to create an unnecessary scare campaign.
Those opposite, and particularly this leader of the opposition, seeks political advantage rather than trying to come together. Makarrata means a coming together after struggle. It's as simple as that.
The Australian Taxation Office is ramping up federal court actions to recover billions of dollars in overdue small business tax. Max White explains.
The ATO is hot on the heels of $30 billion worth of tax owed by small businesses around the country, ending its leniency policy during the pandemic. According to the Australian Financial Review, the tax office started 476 wind-up proceedings in the first 7 months of 2023, compared with just 14 in the same period last year. The tougher approach comes as new data reveals retail spending is in the most prolonged contraction since the global financial crisis, after the Reserve Bank raised interest rates 12 times in 15 months.
Donald Trump supporters amassed outside a federal courthouse in Washington, D.C., where the former president faced a judge today. Mr Trump is being arraigned on 4 charges over his attempts to overturn the 2020 election, including conspiracy to defraud the US. He's pleaded not guilty to those charges. Former White House advisor Laura Schwartz says despite this being his most serious indictment yet, he's still the frontrunner for the Republican nominee.
This is really doing well for his campaign. He's not losing supporters from this. We haven't seen him gain supporters, but we've seen just his support among those that already are on his camp just get stronger. This is about political theatre for Donald Trump, and he's going to try to get the most out of it today.
New South Wales faith leaders are welcoming new religious vilification laws. Landmark legislation to prohibit religious vilification has passed state parliament. People who do not have a religious belief or affiliation, or do not engage in religious activity, are also protected under the new law. Better Balanced Futures Chief Executive Murray Norman says it's a vital piece of legislation in a multicultural state like New South Wales.
We have people of many faiths, and the thing that we need in New South Wales is we need everyone to be treated fairly and equally, and that's what we now have, with each of the faiths being able to be treated the same. But in a multicultural place, that's really important that we all come equal before the law and equal within the community.
We're being encouraged to put on our favourite pair of jeans today to raise awareness of genetic diseases. It's the 30th anniversary of Genes for Genes Day, raising money for the Children's Medical Research Institute. Dr Grant Logan works in the gene therapy unit and says it only exists because of funding being raised by the campaign.
We're finally starting to see these revolutionary new treatments coming through to help children with a whole range of different diseases such as metabolic disorders, blindness, neuromuscular conditions, and we're only limited by imagination and funding as to what we could achieve in the future.
And the bus driver charged in relation to the Greta wedding tragedy has been slapped with dozens of additional charges. 58-year-old Brett Andrew Button had already been charged with 10 counts of dangerous driving occasioning death, as well as a backup count of negligent driving. He's now been charged with additional counts of dangerous and negligent driving, as well as misconduct while in charge of a motor vehicle. He's not yet entered any pleas to the 63 charges and is due to face Newcastle local court next Wednesday.
2NURFM Sport.
It's been another night of drama at the Women's Football World Cup, where 2-time winner and number 2 ranked nation Germany has crashed out in the group stage after a 1-1 draw with South Korea. The Germans were denied by the VAR for offside and the woodwork as they pushed for a winner. But it wasn't to be, Morocco instead becoming the first Arab or North African nation to reach the knockouts by beating Colombia 1-0.
A massive moment for Morocco. It could be monumental. It could mean qualification for the last 16 on their debut at the Women's World Cup.
That audio thanks to Optus Sport. The Roosters' NRL Finals hopes remain alive following a 26-16 victory over Manly. Nathan Brown was sent off just 30 seconds after coming onto the field for a second-half high tackle. And Jamel Charlo's dodging of Australian boxer Tim Tszyu will cost him one of his world titles. The WBO to crown Tszyu the world champion when Charlo fights Canelo Alvarez. And now you're up to date with the latest 2NURFM news.